Be sure to tune in for the first of 2 North American monthly Melee tournaments in October, starting this Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time.
And what a deflect at the very end! His Graviton absolutely pivotal. Graviton does come in, pulls in 3. FaZe looking for the bomb. That's too easy. Gets the bomb. 3 people down. Here comes Dragonblade. He's going right in. Takes out 1 right away. Gets 2. Who needs 8 seconds anyways? The Shadowburn. A 3. 4K for Shadowburn. Long enough to take him out. 2 quick kills here from C9. Deadeye on the way. This is going to clean things up. Down goes too easy. And C9 going to hold. Graviton comes out, Shadowburn looking to slice everyone down. The Transcendence is down. Factor Fiction picking up 4 with Reinhardt there. To backline and FaZe just prioritizing the point. We got Funnel C9 in. Graviton's gonna come in, pulls in 4. Shadowburn Swift strikes right in. That's too easy. The bomb takes out 3. What a beautiful positioning setup. This knocked down 2 in the backline, but no pickoffs resulting from it. Zombs moving in here with the Graviton. Gets the kills he needs to get. Sets up 3 people for death.
I mean, the best thing to say right now is it's not as bad as it was against Helpless. Here comes a nice Transcend. That should save him. I don't know exactly about that Earthshatter.
Earthshatter did not work out. Agility's with the big reflect on Lutzy. Moving forward, moving in. Double kill for Agility. Still not to be stopped. Base melting's already been on and forces it back, but Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here once more with the Alienware Monthly Melee. I'm ZP, that's Hex, and we are starting out here today with a bang, C9 versus Liquid.
It's always my favorite time of the month to the Alienware Monthly Melees, and I'm so excited with like the group of teams that we have because I love Liquid. I think that Liquid is the best North American team, I guess. A team that is mostly North American at the least. There's other European teams who play in North America. And then we have just kind of the arrival of this new Cloud9 roster, the Tempo Storm roster, is Complexity back to form. Like, this should be really nice. What a great set we have starting us off here.
It's pretty good, and just to clarify for people, this is a newer C9 roster, but nothing is final. It's one of those things I was going to remind anyways, but just so you guys know that for coming in from C9, there are some new names on here. Mendo, as rumors have been suggesting, is trying out for C9. Along with today, it looks like it's going to be Rib, Mendo, and Wolf to go along with the old C9 core of Adam, Sheer4, and Kai Kai. So that is sort of the mystery coming in here, but that is what we'll be seeing here up against what has been a much better practice core of Liquid as of late.
Right, but isn't that such a cool roster that they have? Like,
yes.
It's like the core Cloud9 roster, then like the best ringers you could possibly get. Because Rib is amazing. We saw what he did over E-League. Like, Mendo has always been on the tip of everyone's tongue when everyone's like, hey, we need a new DPS, and people always just whisper like, well, maybe Mendo. And then you have Wolf, who like was a ringer, became a member, and then was like a ringer again on different rosters too. So it's like it's like Cloud9 and then the best possible free agents you could add to Cloud9. And then like I really love this Liquid team. I expected them to do better in E-League than they did. Of course, they ran into tough competition, but I expected them to do well too. So yeah, I mean, it's just so interesting to see this Cloud9 roster. Like, I don't know, your initial thoughts on it. Like, are they weaker? I mean, they're clearly weaker, but can this be a roster that can gel together? My biggest thought is like this is a roster of people who maybe can't gel in other rosters.
Well, clearly, I think Rib can come in and make any team look good. If you looked at what happened during E-League, what he did for Misfits, coming in, replacing Skipjack short notice, and of course, Misfits was able to win the entire thing. So I think there's no real worries about Rib fitting in. The Wolf, I think, has been on a whole bunch of different teams, has had decent results, so I'm not sure Wolf is really a meshing issue. The real question here, of course, is Mendo going to be able to mesh with this team? Because Mendo, of course, has had a very rocky team history where he doesn't always go well with his teammates. He is, at his peak, a very good talent, one of the first standout talents in the Overwatch community, but he's had rough times compared to his contemporary peers and players like Tavik. So it's a good opportunity for Mendo, and we'll just have to see if he makes the most of it.
I completely agree. I did let the team start the draft, so we are going into that if you want to bring it up. And Mendo is always a guy, like the talent's always there. It's just, can he play with the team? He was on 3 teams in the course of about 3 months for a while ago. Had been so far teamless. for a bit. So he really needs to find a way to just gel with his team. But like just on pure talent and hit scan ability, he's up there with the best of them.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things too where Mendo is also young. Like, that's worth noting here. It's not like he's past his prime or can't get better, all the rest. He's a player where if he puts his mind to it, can definitely get back into it. So it's an interesting story to cover, if nothing else. But map draft is underway, and what do we see here to start things out? We have C9 taking out Dorado, Nimbani, Hanamura, and Temple. So they take out two payload maps they don't really want to go on to at all in the very beginning, and then go to take out those assault maps right after.
Right, and you look at Liquid, and they just don't want to go to control maps at all.
No.
Nepal, Lijiang, Ilios, all out, and perhaps maybe that's a thought that they don't want to play against Mendo on those maps because he is a great tracer. I think he made his name on Lijiang Tower as a tracer, but also because you want to make sure that they have the cohesion to beat you on these maps that require cohesion and require pushes. So they're taking all the King of the Hill away from this revamped Cloud9 roster. We're down to 4: Gibraltar, Hollywood, Kings Row, Route 66, the old standbys. I would not be surprised to see 66 banned out here, but Gibraltar is also a map people don't like playing.
Gibraltar is weird. Teams have had a love-hate relationship with it as of late, but Gibraltar will stay in the pool. You are correct. 66 is going to be taken out, so it's going to be Jib, Hollywood, and Kings Row. A little bit more standard as far as maps go. No Dorado coming in, of course. C9 not liking that map taking out immediately, but this should be a good set of maps, and who knows, maybe we'll just end up starting out here on Kings Row. Seems more likely than not, although C9 has definitely had moments where they have really liked playing on Gibraltar, kind of shown here by the fact that they immediately take out Hollywood.
Yeah, I think they're hoping to go to Gibraltar to at least start it off, but they are forcing it into the map pool. Just so you guys know how we do the maps here is we ban out until there's one left. That's the map we start on, and then we give the loser of that map choice of next map, and then the other team the choice of sides on that map. So, ZP, it's good to be back with you here today. It seems like old times, friend, as we're going to kick it off on Kings Row.
It is definitely good, man, and I mean, what better than to start off on Kings Row as well? I mean, we're going full nostalgia right now. Oh, yeah. Man.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, for those that don't know, there was definitely a point where almost every tournament map started on Kings Row, whether you liked it or not, but a little bit more variety as of late.
Yeah, so I forgot I was the one in charge of lobby, so I'm just making sure lobby settings are good. Then I'm going to ask if teams are ready, then we're going to hit go like momentarily.
And going into this, do you have any predictions? My prediction would be Liquid did look really strong at E-League. I would expect Liquid to do well here, but I mean, then again, you do have Rib subbing in here for C9, and I feel like he's going to mesh pretty well, and I don't necessarily know if C9's going to come out weak, so I feel like going in, I would say edge to Liquid, but I could definitely see C9 surprising us and coming out very strong as well.
Yeah, you would have to assume so. I mean, I would be surprised if the new roster that just came together this week is able to beat Liquid. And maybe it's because, like, I've always been a fan of Liquid, but this is like, I used to knock Liquid a lot because, like, every week it was like, oh, what Liquid roster are we seeing this week? But this one's been together for a bit now. I mean, the newest edition is Rafa, but, like, when your newest edition is the best, like, Quake player on the planet, is that really that bad? So right now, I just kind of want to see... I'm worried about this Cloud9 roster. Like you said, there's tryouts. Overwatch is so much about cohesion and calling and timing that I know that they've only played together four-ish days at best. So you'd have to favor Liquid. I expect, I guess, overall in the tournament to see probably a Liquid FaZe kind of finals.
Liquid FaZe would definitely be where... you would think that would be the most likely based on results, but the weird thing about FaZe is that FaZe still strikes me as a very inconsistent team where they have some tournaments where they look like they're absolutely unstoppable and some tournaments where they don't quite perform up to where you're thinking they're going to go to. So FaZe for me is always a wild card.
They could beat anyone and they could lose to anyone. I completely agree with you there. They do look like the best team on the planet, then they look like the number 8th team in Europe at times as well. So we are loading on to Kings Row right now. This is Overwatch. Thank you all for tuning in to the Alienware Monthly Melee. Make sure you tweet, tell your friends that we are live and ready to go. Had to change some stuff up, but we are going with the Alienware and, you know, short notice. So tell everyone that this is happening and we have the best tournament on the planet right now. What do you see on the defense there, ZP?
All right, well, taking a look here on the defense as it sets up for C9, it looks like we found who the Mei player is going to be because Mendo going to be repping the Mei to start things off. Not Surefour. Surefour going to be on the Reaper, Adam on the Mercy, Wolf going to be on Ana, Kai on the Zarya, and Rib on what else but Reinhardt. Rib going to be filling right in for what was formerly Debet's role. And for those who are curious, well, where's Debet? Why is he no longer with C9? Debet always had a tension between his real-life job and effectively what he wanted to do in esports. So for him, he decided, I think he's in finance. He wanted to stay more with finance. So he's sticking with more the traditional career path, and best of luck to him. And it's sad because he was one of the tanks that we really followed heavily for a long time, Max.
Yeah, I was a big fan of not only Tibet, but like Tibet and Kai Kai. Like, it's just gonna be weird to not say Tibet and Kai Kai together as a team, because I thought they always played tanks so well together. That was an amazing thing. But, you know, that's how esports is sometimes. You gotta worry about everything else, and we wish him the best, of course. Maybe he'll make his grand re-entrance after he makes his financial debut. But right now, on the Liquid side of offense, they are running a Hanzo. It's become somewhat standard on this map.
Hanzo has become standard. It's an opening gambit where sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. ID, though, definitely one of the better Hanzos in the business, and right now, he's just concerned poking down the Reinhardt shield, looking for some pokes later on, and you take a look at Liquid right now, they are all going into the alleyway, going for the high ground, and going in over the top as they set up here versus the new C9.
Yeah, so they're just going to take the high ground away from him, but very, very composed on the defense right now. But that's the pick you're looking for as Hanzo, as ID takes down Wolf. That Ana is down, and he's in a great spot over top of this team.
This is great for Liquid. They're able to get the first pick they're looking for. They're pushing back C9. And C9, they have to give up a lot of space here. They are down one person. They're backing. They're bending. They're not broken here just yet. Take a look at Surefour, though. He does need health as he's looking for Mezrar. They're going to punish Mezrar immediately. And now 5v5. C9 can push this right back as Surefour, runs right into ID.
The Blizzard does come down on the point, and they do have an Ana boost going down on the Reaper. That's something we've seen a lot lately as AZK and ID combine for 4 kills. That should be it for the offense. They do grab this first point in very easy order thanks to that Ana boost and their DPS going wild. AZK finds another pick on Ana late. Wolf so far died twice in the last 60 seconds.
Yeah, AZK wasn't stopping there. And again, just to remind people for C9, this is not the locked-in roster or anything like that. They are trying stuff out. But it is a nice to see them experiment. But so far, first defense on Kings Row, not quite working out how they want. And what they're going to do here, they're just going to back up, regroup, and look the challenge here in the middle of Streets phase. But you take a look at Team Liquid. Not only do they have Dragon Strike up, they're going to have Graviton up soon. And AZK is going to be setting up here for the Death Blossom in just a moment.
Might have messed up the lobby settings. I'm not sure what to do about that. We might go BTL. I mean, it's on kind of, yeah. Man, my first debut as an admin in the lobby settings, not great.
All right, well, we'll worry about that later. Right now, looking at AZK. AZK set up here on the Death Blossom in the pub, waiting to just roll out into the defense in just a moment, waiting for the opportunity. He's going in right to the back line. Death Blossom coming out. Doesn't get quite as much as looking for. A decent reaction here from C9. And now take a look at Surefour. The counter, Death Blossom coming into the back line. That is a 3K coming in from Surefour. Make it 4. And in Reaper versus Reaper, C9 definitely getting the better of that one. Good reaction to deal with AZK's Death Blossom.
Yeah, really nicely done. I'm just kind of curious if, you know, Liquid was even looking to push there, though, because they didn't necessarily bust out the ultimates that they could have. They've had ultimate advantage for a while, so maybe it was because some of them who had ultimate advantage died early on. I mean, Mez did bust out the Earthshatter, but they did have the wombo of Zarya and Hanzo up, so they didn't look for that. I think they're content to trade out economic advantage.
Graviton is going to come in from Rafa. The Dragon Strike not coming in. They didn't like how much they got there. They only got 1. And C9, they trade out kills, start things out, and they're moving right back in. The counter Graviton sets up Surefour for 2. And C9, again, turning this back in their favor. Liquid using some valuable ults are not really getting what they were looking for.
Yeah, I think if you see C9 end up playing well in this game, it's going to be off the back of their DPSs, because DPS is something that you can play a little bit with outside of communication. You don't necessarily have to gel as well with your team. We've seen Surefour both times get a couple like 3Ks, 2Ks on the last couple of holds here. So I think if you look for Surefour and Mendo in the kill feed, that you can kind of tell how well they're doing.
Alrighty, well, Liquid, they're going to fire up the drone and start things out there, moving right in. Here comes AZK, Nana boosted, again took out Rib to start things out. Death Blossom in the back, takes down 2, 3 more for AZK. And C9 almost certainly going to have to get up the second point where Nano Boost and Death Blossom doing its job once more.
Well, as I was talking about the DPS on the defense, that's exactly how they won the first point on offense, was ID and AZK going off, combining for 5 kills. Now, of course, that's not only the DPS doing it. Your tanks are giving you position, your supports are healing you up, but when you're doing all those things and your DPS aren't taking advantage of it is when you're going to lose fights. These DPS for Liquid are definitely taking advantage of it, as ID and AZK have cleaned up. Now, ID's still on this Hanzo, which is kind of surprising.
It is a little bit surprising. AZK is able to take out Sheriff 4 to start things out here. Defense of C9 got to back out once more. And Adam actually forced out to use a sound barrier here. I'm not sure if this is going to quite work out for C9 because there's still a big disadvantage. Kaikai's still going to go down. I feel like it would have been a little bit better for Adam to just hold on to that here because now Liquid, they're going to be able to roll in. They don't have much in the way of ults, but C9's going to have a trouble just to get back on this payload in time.
Yeah, ID with the nice kills there too should be able to close it out for him as they do put the Ana boost onto the Reinhardt. Here comes a late Blizzard though, might be able to turn things around. It is a kind of a grasp, last-ditch effort. That is not going to be it though, as only Adam alive. Adam cleaned out there as well.
So Liquid able to move in. That was about a time of 3 minutes, 58 seconds or so. Obviously time a little bit messed up because of the lobby settings, but wanting to go out here today. I'm going to blame the Hurricane, even though I'm absolutely nowhere near.
Everything is the Hurricane's fault. The fact that I put it on quick play settings was the Hurricane's fault, but it has been all Liquid here so far after they took this after the first point. The first point, honestly, was actually kind of interesting as Mendo was running the offensive Pharah and looked really good in it. So he's been on 3 characters since then. He was on Reaper, now he is on the Diva, now he switches over to the Genji. So Mendo trying to flex his hero pool here. First take took 1 fight. It was very prolonged and drawn out, but so far, defense holding stout after that first point taken.
All right, as you can see, it is the C9 offense underway. A little bit of old school stuff here. Due to the lobby settings, it is 4:58, which is the time to beat. Mendo right now leading the way in Genji, and there is a point where Mendo is known for having one of the most devastating Genjis in the game, so we'll see if he can carry on that legacy right now. Not super close to Dragon Blade, but here we go, next fight underway. Nano Boost going to be leading the way here for the defense. They take out one, but they're getting back out.
It was a really beautiful Earthshatter. Yeah, they dropped like 3 there. I'm surprised they weren't able to sweep the streets and bring out more kills there. So now the offense in a decent position to fight back as Rib takes down Rafa. There goes Mendo. So they get a couple kills early, and right now it's looking in favor of Cloud9.
Yeah, C9 able to bring it right back and take a look here. Of course, C9 is in the red for the second attack just because of the mode right now. But Kaikai is going to have Graviton Surge up here for the next team fight. And really, it's going to be a relatively barren team fight in terms of ults to start things out also. AZK might be able to get a Death Blossom a little bit later on, but C9 definitely has a window here for Kaikai to set up Sheriff 4.
Well, they've got everything they want as far as offensive pushing power goes. They can Nana boost this Reaper. They can use a Graviton in there to set it up. Mendo and Rib are just moments away from getting it. There comes the Death Blossom Reaper. Joe4 does take out to hang early.
Sheriff 4 going to the backline, powered by the Nana Boost, has 2, looking for the third. Nowhere to go for Minstrel. That's going to be 3 kills here from Sheriff 4 as he just rolls to the back. Graviton comes in late from Kaikai, and I'm not even sure if that is necessary. Does get them the cleanup they're looking for, and time-wise, they are making a good amount of time. I just wonder if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I'm fine with that Graviton anywhere else on the map. If you need that to lock out doors here, this is a hard map to close out as the spawns are so close to this final point here, and it's nice to be able to throw it on the door and not let anyone come in and then just focus on the other door. Well, AZK does get, yeah, he got his Death Blossom on, he got his Sound Barrier on as well, but I believe that might be time.
That is going to be time there calling GG. This is not planned to go in on the older school setup here. It just sort of happened, unfortunately, guys. But that's going to be map number 1 going the way of Liquid, so not too surprising given we know about both teams.
Yeah, as we go back to lobby, I'm just like feverishly going into my lobby options, making sure that doesn't happen again. But you know, that
never again, Hex, never again.
You know what? Like, it actually really brought back memories of how difficult it was to do stopwatch. Like, what a pain it was. I'm so happy for time bank nowadays.
The time bank system has been pretty incredible. There's no doubt about it. Alrighty, so
why don't you see what map they want to play, and I can do that while I'm already in here. Rule set competitive. There it is. It's set. It's on the board. You know, like the thing that threw me off, it's like it's the first setting in the entire thing. So I just scrolled down. I was like, yeah, I don't even need that. I'll just scroll down. So my fault. That's fine. Both teams are okay with it. We're gonna move on to the next thing.
Next map going in, of course, Hollywood is in the pool, Gibraltar is in the pool. I feel like C9 might be bringing over the Gibraltar just because, again, it is a map where at one point C9 was very, very strong on it. Obviously, that's a half of a different team at this point, and different metas, different everything else, but it is, in fact, going to be Jib, as Kaikai calls it out. So
Yeah,
Gibraltar.
Gibraltar and Cloud9 go kind of hand in hand. I've always thought this is a map that they're very good at. I do want to see the composition that they run. I thought they've always been good at it, especially when they were able to run like double Winston and their double tank play. And I kind of wonder, like, without Debet, is Kai going to feel lonely on his tank? Is he going to run like a diva kind of solo tank? Is he going to be the one who has to run Winston? Is kind of the questions I have.
We'll have to see. Of course, Rib, when we saw him in the Overwatch Open, a lot of it was a lot of Reinhardt, though there were points where he was on Winston, so... Obviously, though, it's hard to replace the tank synergy that Kai and Tibet had, because you look at when C9 was at their very best, C9 did extremely well from that synergy between Kai and Tibet, where they would have great move-ins together. It would set up Surefour, it would set up Reaver to get picks back when you had Widow more in the meta. So there's a lot of moving parts that made C9 a great team that definitely have to be revamped for the current game.
Yeah, so Liquid is going to take attack here, which means I think I have to move them over to red side. Man, like, we need an admin. I'm tired of this. All right, so
we need an
like it's been a while since I've done it, which is the problem. It's pretty easy to do it once you know how to do it.
Alrighty, so it is going to be attack first here for Liquid. They're up a map on C9. C9 going to be looking to make their turnabout here on Gibraltar in just a moment. I always love the minigame between teams preferring attack and defense. There's definitely a long point where C9 would actually take defense over attack between the two when given the option.
The only team that I really think is super consistent about it is Complexity, which we'll see later in this tournament, but Complexity always takes attack. Like, without fail, no matter the map, they always want to attack first. So Cloud9 is ready. The map settings are good. I've checked them 5 times. I moved teams onto the proper sides. My admin abilities are kicking in momentarily. So we're just waiting, and there it goes. They say we're ready to go. Let's hit that start button.
Alrighty, so we are getting right in. This is going to be C9 versus Liquid. Map number 2 on the way. Watch Point Gibraltar. This is where we pray for no weird lobby issues, no internet issues, no hurricane issues. That's actually the interesting thing coming up here with FaZe, because, of course, Zoms is one of the players on FaZe, and much to my chagrin, because I advised him otherwise, but Zoms is not evacuating out of Florida, and he's in South Florida, so I'm not even sure he's going to have power later tonight.
Well, is it going to hit South? It looks like it's going to
there.
be kind of brutal on, like, northeast Florida. Like, Jacksonville's going to get crushed.
Poor Jacksonville. All right, so we are in game once.
It was like the least genuine poor Jacksonville I've ever heard.
Look, man. Poor Jacksonville. That's all I have to say about that. But we are getting in here. Take a look here at the defense coming out here from the side of C9. It is going to be Rib on the Reinhardt, Mendo Kusai on the Winston, Surefour on Reaper, Wolf on the Ana, Adam going to be on Lucio, and Kai rounding things out here on the Zarya. So we will have a triple tank defense coming out here, supported by the Ana, and a lot of pressure here on Surefour to be the backbone of this defense. Conversely, for Liquid, if they can pick off Surefour early, going to be pretty good for them.
They don't necessarily have like the big pick classes to go after them, though. ID is going to be on the Roadhog. He was normally actually on the Zarya, which is Rafa is going to take up now too. We've seen a lot of the Quake pros actually gravitate towards Zarya. Seems to make sense to them. Mez is going to be on the Reinhardt on attack. AZK will play the offensive Reaper. To hang on supports will play Ana, and Minstrel, of course, on his good old Lucio.
Alrighty, so offensive C9 going to be coming out here, or offensive Liquid going to be coming out here in a hurry. And you take a look at C9, they're not even going for any greedy poke to start things out. They're just holding back here next to the server room. Not really going anything crazy, which you come to expect in Gibraltar. Well, there's a point in Gibraltar where there was an extra checkpoint that no one ever actually defended.
Right. I mean, as conservative can be here on this defense, both their supports hanging out up top here. Usually if you're running a Zen, that's where you run them, but it's just Wolf and Adam up there on both supports, so they don't have any dive to deal with this. I think they want to take it slow and steady through the middle and force those supports down to help out their team.
Alrighty, so offensive Liquid, they're really taking their time. They're trying to win the poke war first before committing to this fight. Definitely hoping that ID can help them out here with a pick or two on the Roadhog. That is a key to this composition. And ID not going to land those hooks to start things out here. And C9, they're not actually being super eager to punish this either. They're bending back a bit. They're not going into Liquid. And Liquid actually starting to get some good spaces. Rafa charged up, pushing the edge here. And C9 starting to find themselves pushed back a bit.
very slow and steady. Nothing in the kill feed for a while until Rafa just takes down short, where they're going to actually nano boost AZK on his way in. They do get Earth Shatter, but no follow-up there from Rib as he's caught out all alone. Very back and forth right now.
Yeah, Mendo right now with the nano boost, rolling to the back line, able to get one, looking for a little bit more, cleaving in, but he's finding a lot of his team dying all around him. He does have Primal Rage, he's going to be a stall out here, and this will give C9 the opportunity to get right back into this fight. And let's take a look at Cheer4. He's able to take down Mezar, has built up a Death Blossom, and I don't think he's going to need to clear things out. Mendo doing a great job on Primal to knock people around the cart and buy enough time for C9 to reinforce.
A very interesting fight. They just kind of looked each other in the eyes for a very long time, then decided that, well, I guess this is when we have to fight now. And then it was like one kill to one kill, 1-2. It just went very back and forth. But now we were entering the ultimate phase of the game. And right now it is the defense who has the advantage here. Mendo does come up on Tracer. Mendo has been kind of schizophrenic on what hero he wants to play today. I think that's his 7th hero we've seen so far in these last 2 maps.
He's definitely been switching up a lot. Shades are too easy there to be sure, but good next fight. Kakai gonna open things up here with the Graviton, pulls in 3, but I don't know if they have the follow-through on that. They're not able to get what they're looking for. Start things off. Rafa, in fact, punishing Wolf, and here we go, 6v5 here from Liquid. They're turning the tables. Rafa with a Graviton of his own. Kakai finding himself stuck here, and Cheer4 to the back line. Has Death Blossom at the ready. Gonna get slapped and taken out. AZK finished off the double. And this is going to be Liquid, the counterfire working out for them, and honestly, the Graviton just not working out for C9.
It was a very strange defensive Graviton. I don't understand what you're trying to get done there. You don't have the heroes who can even put damage down over there. I can see that being a decent Graviton if you have a Pharah can jump over the top and punish it, but you're going to Graviton a Reinhardt on the edge, and you have no one who can take high ground, and obviously you saw they didn't get anything out of it, and when you don't get anything out of one of the most valuable ultimates in the game, you're going to be in for trouble. They got counter-grabbed and absolutely rolled over there.
Alrighty, well, you take a look at Liquid. Liquid is setting up with good positioning here on the hangar phase. ID coming in over the top, looking for the early hook, and he's going super deep. Hog coming out. AZK from the front. The Death Blossom takes down 3. And that's just Liquid rolling into C9 on the top level, setting up things they need to set it up for, and they're going to keep this rolling. I'm not even sure if C9's going to have a chance to really defend this at last.
On offense, if you get your Reaper on top of the shuttle and he doesn't see anyone around him, no one bullies him off of there, you're happy as you can be. They got him on top of the shuttle, they were able to nano boost him, and he just cleaned it up. And now they try to come through the door, got Earth Shattered. They're cleaning up still.
Yep, they're still going in. Mendo going to come in, dropping the Pulse Bomb. It's 3 kills here from the side of Liquid, and C9's doing an okay job of trying to stall this out, but I don't think it's going to be enough here where Liquid, they'll get the kills they need, and C9, they just weren't able to reestablish after that first wipe in hangar phase, and Liquid going to be throwing in here to the last section. Rib finding himself out of segment here without friends, and really, it's been a good showing from Liquid thus far.
Well, that's a phrase that is very akin to losing Gibraltar, not able to reestablish in hangar phase, because hangar phase is where, as a defense, you should be able to gain a couple minutes there. They were never able to do it. It came down to AZK coming up over the top and no defensive presence on top of the shuttle, able to roll through it, and now you're stuck at last. Now, last is a holdable point on Gibraltar. It's not that bad for the defense, but you want more out of your shuttle phase than that.
It is where you can hold for quite a while, and we do see Mendo right now swapping on to the Pharah, so I think if C9 is able to win this next fight, you'll probably see some degree of changeup coming in from Liquid to deal with this. But here we go, AZK to the backline, Nano Boost Reaper in once more, picking up 3, setting Team Liquid up for 4 kills, and C9, Mendo actually one of the last people up alive here. It's a pharmacy combo, but ID says get down to earth, gets the hook he's looking for, and Liquid definitely having a good run here on Jib, not getting stuck too often, and very likely now to cap this out, and there we go.
We are in the phase of Overwatch where you must fear the Reaper, because Reaper on a boost has been the counterplay to perhaps Reinhardt on a boost, and just cleaning up everything before you even start a fight. Out of nowhere, off the top rope, dropping in. We've seen that play again and again, and so far teams have not had the best answer to it. You can run maybe a Roadhog to stop the Death Blossom, maybe a McCree, but neither of those have been 100% pick rate across the board. Right now, a lot of it is on a boost, and that's been the way for a bit, but now it's on a boost on Reaper, and what's the answer to that?
Dealing with an on-boosted Reaper is hard. I mean, one of the few things in the game that can deal with it more effectively probably be a McCree just to at least stun out the ultimate. But the problem is that even if you stop the ultimate, it's still a nano-boosted Reaper that's doing all sorts of damage with his primary fire. So it's not exactly a silver bullet for dealing with that situation. So it is difficult. I don't think teams really found out the best way of dealing with it. Obviously, if you can get counter on a sleep on it, it's great, but that's anything but reliable. Although, hey, every now and then you do have heat end coming in for big plays.
Right. I actually think we might be entering an era where disengage becomes much more important than it used to be. So they did nerf Lucio as far as how much speed boost his speed boost gives, but if you have a Lucio that can like save that speed boost to counter the incoming Reaper, the incoming Reinhardt, and just get everyone out, like you don't have to fight on the offense's terms. Just get out and come back in. We've seen it from a couple teams, like most notably, I remember Luminosity Gaming did it a couple weeks ago, and like their disengages were amazing. I think we might see that trend come back into Overwatch, where it's not so much about your offense or your defense, it's about your initiations and your disengages. And I would love to see teams take advantage of teams with hubris about Ana being so good that just walk away. Just walk away.
And yeah, I think for the disengage game, I'm just thinking about ways of dealing with it. It's rough because remember, one of the best disengage tools in Lucio Speed Boost recently got nerfed, so you don't even though it's used to engage a lot, it's also used to disengage from bad situations. So I feel like teams are definitely going to have to look into their disengage game a little bit more. But either way, offense of C9 going to be underway. Mendo opening things up here with the Hanzo, looking for early picks. Meanwhile, you take a look at Rafa. It's going to be Rafa taking up the Roadhog mantle this time, and ID on the Zarya.
Yeah, so they're going to play a very server room-oriented defense, something we don't see very often nowadays. You usually want one or two on high ground or just hold pretty far back, but they are just rotating into server room, and that's because they have the Roadhog, but they do lose one early as AZK eats a Fire Strike from Rib.
He ate the Fire Strike and the Hanzo Arrow basically at the same time, immediately taken down, and this is a big opportunity for C9. They're just going to roll in. They have 2 quick kills to start things out here at 6v4, and Surefour able to just hang out here on top of the payload, laying in damage with the Reaper, and this should be C9's fight, barring a really big turnabout here from Liquid. Just, you can't really recover from a pick that early in the team fight.
No, I think it's one of the reasons you don't see teams hold server room as often anymore, is because you're giving up all that ground pretty much till right outside the door in server room, and then like you have to either collapse and be super successful at in defense or just give it up. And I mean, it's kind of a coin flip 50-50. They've given up so much ground in shuttle as they are moving in right away, have very good positioning so far. This Reaper for Cloud9 is spotted out though as he tries to take over top, so it does look like Liquid will be able to establish a better defense on their shuttle phase at least.
We'll have to see about that. Mendo just got all sorts of damage off that scatter arrow. It's good poke to start things out. Mezar, though, going to come in. Nano boost at the ready. Trying to deal with the other Reinhardt right now, and it is going to be Team Liquid's fight. Perhaps it's trading out Earth Shatters here, back and forth. C9 does have the Graviton. They're fighting this back after what was a good engage here from the side of Liquid. Kai right now holding on to that Graviton, pushing back both Lucio and Reaper. And meanwhile, you look at the backline, Surefour on the Mezrar. So what's going to happen here is C9 should be able to reinforce even as Liquid pours more and more ults into this fight. They'll push things out, but their turnabout game here is going to be great.
Yeah, you mentioned they just poured in ults and ults. There was a sound barrier late there, and they used everything that they had to use to hold on to that point. I don't know if necessarily you need to use all of that, but look at this on the offense. They're going to have the Zarya and Hanzo combo incoming. They also have both support ultimates up too. A great opportunity to push through here for Cloud9.
Graviton will be coming in here. Here comes the Dragon rolling right in off of the Graviton, and they don't get anything off of that. So somewhat a missed opportunity there. Meanwhile, AZK did try and drop down, is taken out. It's still the first pick off here from C9, even if it's less than they want. And Wolf right now on the double kill, making the Ana work. Surefour getting into the backline once more, and it's still working out for C9, even though the Graviton Dragon not quite getting as much as they were looking for.
It's an extremely underrated part of her kit, because overall you're running an Ana because you want the bio grenade to counter Zenyatta ults, and you want the Ana ultimate to win games and initiate pushes. But if your Ana showing up in the kill feed, that is just so much extra damage and bonus damage you have. Surefour does come up and cleans it up. Rib gets all the credit in the kill feed as they are able to push through shuttle phase.
All right, so C9 definitely still alive as they go forward, and props are due here. Mendo's been having a great game here in Hanzo. Hanzo games don't always work out the way teams want them to, as noted by some games, of course, in E-League, where Tavik was having trouble getting things going despite being a remarkable Hanzo, but the stars are aligning for Mendo right now, and C9 keeping a lot of momentum. However, going to the next fight, Mezar is going to have the Earth Shatter up. They are going to have a nano boost, so I'd expect Liquid to try and take a little bit of initiative here, but there's definitely ways that C9 can win this fight.
Well, They do jump in and try to get the Ana boost going there, but Shore 4 does end up taking out to Hang early on, so that is a one-sided fight for the offense here. Shore 4 does add another, and his ID is getting right in the face of everyone, and that's kind of what you do with Zarya lately, but not necessarily working out. Shore 4 is going to ride the cart right now, and no one in his way. They also have all the ultimates to be able to close out this final push.
This is a really good time right now being set by C9. C9 one team fight away from taking this. They have the Graviton set up and a sound barrier. Huge ultimate advantage for them going in. This should be their fight if they play their cards right now. And let's take a look at Kai. Graviton Surge at the ready. Mendo with the Dragon Strike. Is the Dragon going to be sated? Dragon going in. Takes out 2. So that's the 2 kills that C9 needed. They have the sound barrier down. There is a counter sound barrier from Liquid, but it's just not going to be enough. They lost 2 people from the Dragon Strike, and unfortunately, when a team fight starts out like that, you are very unlikely to turn it back in your favor.
No, Shore 4 has been cleaning up, and he did so there with another couple kills there. And Rib, I think, is one of the players that we expected to gel immediately. You know, he's just a great tank player overall, has looked good on so many different rosters. Rib showing up as well, so back and forth right now. Time banks relatively similar, you know, only about like 20 seconds between these teams.
So, if anyone thought the Gibraltar match wouldn't be close, you have another thing coming. People are asking at stopwatch, and
yeah, Kai
saying Kai thought we were from.
He's just ribbing me, I know that.
Alrighty, so both teams setting up here once more. Will be C9 on the defense to start things out. They're going to be on the defense because they did finish with a little bit more time. Thus, Kai saying stopwatch question mark. But C9 looked good in there. It was a great opening from Mendo to start things out, and we'll see if their defense can be a little bit stronger this time. Obviously, they had a little bit of trouble first-time defense on Gibraltar, but the thing about Gibraltar defense is that they are a little bit more momentum-based. If you can win the first fight, you can easily chain that to winning fight number 2, fight number 3, and go from there.
It might be one of the most momentum-based maps in the game. I mean, just especially because streets or, you know, shuttle in this case is so hard to deal with in a lot of maps, but this one in particular, just based on how the high ground works. Now, second phase of games is a lot about high grounds, maybe without King's Row as the exception, but, I mean, you look at this roster and you just look at the players and you're like, they're all good players, and the thing we forget about Cloud9 is Shore 4 is still Shore 4. Kai's still Kai. Adam's still Adam. Those are still 3 of, like, the best players on the planet, so, I mean, if anyone else can just play a little bit, they should be able to take some games off these teams.
Alright, so ID right now looking for those early picks. Hanzo, a fixture of both teams here on Gibraltar. And again, C9, they're actually focusing much more on the server room this side. They were a little bit more spread out in their first defense. This time, they are all in, all partying together. Icewall going to come out here from Mendo to start things off as AZK, though, able to get on share for a first pick off here to Liquid.
Well, I think their first defense just ceded so much ground that they didn't want to do that again because they let them walk in till like right near the point. That is an enormous first shatter. Blizzard comes out too. No, that wasn't.
Take a look at this though. Mendo holding strong, about to have a Blizzard up, able to ice block here at the last moment. He's buying enough time. He's going to be able to drop the Blizzard, and C9 might be able to get back here in time despite having a rough start to this defense. However, AZK getting 2 more in the back line, even with the Blizzard. This is going to be really rough for C9 to get back in time. Sure 4 actually noting the urgency, going to get in the Tracer instead of the Reaper. 3 people up here for C9 as they try and just bring this back.
Yeah, Rib is in. They do have bodies in there, but AZK is going to come out the Death Blossom. Kai's going to eat that to try to energy on his shield, but they are down 3. That is going to be, yeah, that's completely offensive fight.
Alrighty, so Liquid able to take that first fight on the hangar phase once more. And this is where, again, C9 has to be careful. Rib ends up getting that sort of not great spawn, has to eat the death, run back. But this is going to buy a lot of extra time for Liquid right now to get into the hangar phase, get good positioning, and you take a look at their ultimates. They do have Graviton up and ready. So does C9, though, and C9 does have the Pulse Bomb to go with it. So Sure 4 right now is going to be looking for Kai to set him up. If Kai is, expect an explosion.
They do Graviton, the Ana boosted Reinhardt there. That is one way to shut them down. They also Ana boost their own Reinhardt as Rib tries to get in with the help of his buddy Kai. That is 4 kills in the side of the defense, 5, and that is a complete hold down, and this is exactly where you want to be in this phase of the game. We just team wiped. Where do you want to set up? Where do you want to hold? This looks good for us.
No, it's definitely good. For C9, this is one thing they weren't able to do on their first defense here in Gibraltar, where they just sort of lost the first fight in Hangar, and it snowballed from there. They're able to at least reestablish. Surefour, he's going to be sticking on this Tracer for right now. I think he likes how things are going. He's going to be going to the back line with the poke. However, you look at Liquid, they do have Graviton in the Dragon Strike, one of the most deadly combos in the game. So Surefour's being a pest here, sure, but Rafa's looking for the big prize, which is several clumped up members of C9. Graviton is going to come out. Here comes the Dragon. Will that Dragon feast? Takes down 2. It's a good run here from ID, but Surefour unaccounted for in the back, picking up the kills he needs to really stall out this Liquid push.
It's very close. Somehow Rafa stayed alive, even getting through Blizzarded, but Mendo does come in. Mendo and Surefour trying to combine for a couple of kills on the DPS side of things. AZK trying to wipe them out, misses most of his Death Blossom, though does not get a lot going. It is 4v4 right now on the card.
There's 44 on the carpet. We are in overtime right now. If Liquid gets wiped, that is going to be it. Will be their final progress. C9 definitely wants to stop this right here, right now, but the sound barrier setting up Liquid as they move in. They have a 2-kill advantage right now. Still haven't dealt with Surefour in the back. Pulse Bomb gonna come off, doesn't get anything. But as long as Surefour is alive, there's a hope. But he's down to 13 HP. Gonna get out the last moment in hot pursuit. Cut off by the D.Va. And Liquid going to keep this moving forward. Will get to the next checkpoint and keeping things alive. This is the full-on overtime push right now. And it's up to C9 to just get one wipe to stop this in its tracks.
It is so important to grab that point, too. ID does take down Adam. I'm not sure if he got forward spawns. You mentioned spawns earlier. That is one reason that a lot of the pro players do not like this map. They do not like where spawn points come, because if you lose first, you end up spawning right in the face in shuttle. If you lose shuttle, you end up spawning right in your face on last, too. So that has been a big area of contention.
Breath Shatter coming in right now from Rib, trying to turn back the momentum. Does pick up 1 kill as a result, and here comes the Nano Boost. Rib moving in, going forward, swinging the hammer, has 2, has 3. Rib bringing it forward, and that should be a hold here from C9, but not a bad push from Liquid with the remaining time that they had left.
No, you have to be happy to get 2 points there, especially on a map like Gibraltar, so their win condition is pretty clear. Stop them before they do that. Yeah, especially shuttle phase, I thought was really nice for them. They were able to gut it out and get to that second point. But yeah, I think some of the spawns there just did work against the defense. That, like I said, that's something that people have brought up time and again of, I don't like spawning right here. It doesn't help me. And the second point spawns are kind of interesting, though, because when you spawn in second, you do have the option to run across the other side and get less picked off, I guess. I don't know. That has been a point that several competitive out though, that if you could change where you spawn and you could spawn further behind, they would like that.
Definitely would. Well, taking a look here at the defense as it comes out here for the Liquid side, they're gonna have to hold on here for 3 minutes and 23 seconds. They did get a lot of extra time there from overtime. Of course, C9 will have that option available as well if they have momentum on their side, but this is definitely defensible for Liquid, but they do have to be careful, and a big part there is just going to be not getting picked off by Mendo to start things off. And Mendo is able to do here on the second attack what he did on the first. It's going to be pretty big for C9.
Yeah, I mean, Mendo still has to kind of reestablish his name, I guess. I don't know. I looked at this tournament, I looked at like the teams that we have in, and I feel like it's such a reestablishment tournament. You have teams like Complexity and CLOUD9 and Tempo Storm, where it's like they were all good teams at one point in time, but where are they now? And like even now you have like ringers and free agents coming in, looking to reestablish their names as well. Mendo at the top of that list.
All right, and there are a few comments about the stream having some weird issues. I think I know what's causing it. I'm going to restart after this, but hold tight, guys. For now, it is the second round here, or second attack coming out here from C9 on Gibraltar, and Mendo able to land a solid hit to start things out here. They are winning the poke war a little bit against Liquid. They're forcing them back in the server room, but Liquid, to their credit, no one's been picked off here just yet, even as C9 tries to push the issue.
Yeah, I thought that wall was going to get more. They had one isolated, but they left a little crack in for Surefour to escape, and that's all he needs. But, like, that's exactly why you're running the Mei. It's just so that, like, you want to cut their team right in half and then collapse on them as is. Unable to do so far as Surefour still alive, still chunking in some damage here. Rafa getting very aggressive, uses his own allied shield while no damage is coming in on him. Not the greatest. Right now, a very even fight taking place near Car Wash.
Here's the problem here for C9 is that they have 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. They're going to need to win this fight for sure. If they somehow lose this fight, it's going to be very difficult for them to bring this all the way forward. But Mendo able to get that pick off on the tag. 2 kills here from C9. Mendo with another. And C9 looking like they're getting what they need to get here. Liquid struggling to hold on, but let's take a look at AZK. Does have the Death Blossom up, but Surefour saying, nope, I'm going to spin into you first, pick up a double of his own. So this is going to be C9 getting to the next checkpoint and still giving themselves a decent amount of time to get through Hangar Phase here, although again, they basically have to win every fight.
What I really like about C9 is that's evidence of comms right there, because Surefour was 1v3 on top of the cart in no man's land as Reaper, and he Death Blossom, and I was like, oh god, I'm going to have to call him out for this. But he got the Zarya bubble right away, and he was getting reinforcements behind him. They're clearly talking to each other. They needed that Zarya bubble on the Reaper to be able to push that point, and they got it.
AZK was looking for the drop down there. Doesn't quite getting the clean ultimate that he was looking for, but still working out. Has to reload. Surefour with the nano boost. Gonna live at least for now, but not for long. And this is still really good for Liquid. It's a back and forth. C9 isn't fully wiped, but they're buying themselves a lot of time here, where again, C9 down to 1 minute and 5 to bring the payload quite a bit of distance.
It is kind of getting to the point where they're going to have to stay on it forever, though, just because, like, it's a while till you get to second point, and then you have to get a little bit further. So right now, offense looking great. No real pressure from the defense coming in. They're actually worried about it, so they slow roll into top right side. There is a Reaper over top of them.
Well, here comes the ground tom from Kai. Will the Dragon be coming in? The Dragon on the way! Mendo picking up just one from that, so decent reaction coming out there from the side of Liquid. They're not getting full wiped, and now Rafa has potential of doing counter ground tom, but no, not going to happen. Surefour right in his face. 2 kills here from the side of C9. Surefour to the back line, setting up Mendo once more, and C9 keeping the dream alive. 25 seconds left, but Mendo finishing out the triple kill.
Yeah, Mendo's pretty good at Overwatch, just overall. And the nice thing about, like, the one kill he got on his Dragon was that it was to Hang, who was going to be their Ana. They would have loved to have an Ana ultimate to be able to defend that, but not alive to charge it, and they know they can play around it then because he's not going to be on the field.
All right, well, Soundbearer coming out here from the side of C9. They're not able to rush in the way they want to here. They might regret that in just a moment. As Liquid right now, we are in overtime. C9 cannot leave the cart for any reason. The Blizzard again trying to force him out, but Mendo once more. Early pick on the AZK, but here comes ID in the back line. Picks up 2. 4 kills here for the side of Liquid. They are cleaning up C9. It is just Surefour versus the world right now. If he gets wiped out here, that is going to be it. I can't see any way he survives. And that will be Liquid holding on the last moment. C9 not quite able to get the payload right to the very end.
Final score.
Pretty good effort, though, and pretty good showing from Mendo. I feel like, again, this isn't the final C9 roster. They still might switch things up.
Right.
But if Mendo can keep up that level of play, I feel like there could be very good contribution there, just in the sense where C9 was sort of lacking that 1-2 combo for a long time with Reaver and Surefour.
It looked pretty decent, to be honest, and what I really liked is that it did appear that they had some coordination and communication, and that would only get better as they go on. We're going to see this team a lot throughout this tournament, though that is GG's for this set. I think it's a team that's going to improve time and time again, and if this roster can play a little bit more together, then we'll see what they're truly capable of. Because when you just look at this roster, and like, this is a weird term, but like, on paper, it's a very good roster, right?
It is a good roster. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take a quick, we're going to restart the stream. We'll be back in a moment here with C9 versus Rise in just a moment. We'll get to see how the C9 roster goes against Rise in just a moment. So stay tuned.